Hey, everybody, welcome to On the Edge of Entertainment, where I get my friends from around the globe to talk to me about their careers in entertainment. But today I have something very unique and different, but something that I have a very strong belief in, which is health. Because supporting your health is supporting success in life and in everything that you do, especially as a performer, because you have to have good energy. You can't be tired, you can't be depressed, you can't be suppressed in any way. So it makes you have an enormous amount of energy if you have health. So today I have amazing master herbalist who I've been in connection with today. His name is Spencer Masterson. And welcome, Spencer. How are you today?
I'm doing good. Thanks, Coty. It's good to be on your show that you have.
Yeah. This is such an amazing topic. And, you and I were talking the other day, and I just thought, I've got to have you on the show because this topic is so important to me. And I know it is to you as well. You've got a company that sells these amazing products, and that's how I got in touch with you, because the product that you sell that I really love is a protein powder that I have been taking for years. And it's the only protein powder out there that doesn't make me sick. So I absolutely love it. And so we had a conversation the other day and you were telling me about this other whole full package that you've got. And I bought it and I'm so excited. I can't wait to get it, but I want you to tell people about it in a bit. But first, tell me about being a master herbalist. How did that come about?
Well, it goes way back. My mother was into herbs and nutrition and juicing and eating more vegetarian back in the 60s growing up, 60s and 70s. My mother was diagnosed as type 1 diabetes when she was like 30 years old. And she went to this naturopathic, holistic. He's not a doctor, but he did chiropractic. He read, he analyzed the eyes, which is called iridology. If you heard of iridology.
Oh, yeah. So the amazing thing is that you are a master herbalist. And tell me what a master herbalist is, or how you got that distinction.
Yeah, well, I enrolled into the School of Natural Healing, which is it's in Utah.
Yeah, I'm familiar.
Utah, you know that area? It was founded by Dr. John R. Christopher. He was a master herbalist, but he's also a naturopathic doctor. That's why they call him doctor.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's pretty amazing. I actually met him when I was a teenager. My mother and father went to this his seminar for the week. He'd teach classes in the evening. And I went along with my parents, and I was about 16 years old, and guy was he looked like Moses. He had this thick gray hair and shoulders back and very healthy looking and very strong looking. And he told his story how he had rheumatoid arthritis growing up, so he wouldn't walk again. The doctor says he'll never walk again.
Oh, wow.
And so when he's 25 years old, he'd have a cane, he's in a wheelchair. He's reading in scriptures about if you eat whole foods and take mild herbs, I'll promise you that you'll walk again. And that's mainly what the scripture says. You'll walk and be weary and run and not faint. That's what the scripture says. So that's a promise from the Lord. If we eat his diet, his whole foods, and take his herbs for our medicine, he promises that our body will heal no matter what the condition is. So Dr. Christopher did that for about 8-9 months. He's able to walk again. Didn't have to use his cane, no wheelchair. And the medical doctors are amazed because, they don't use whole food herbs and, herbs for your medicine and eat correctly, like organic whole plant foods. So, and he kept it up. And then shortly after that was World War II. And he was able to use whole foods and herbs for some of the soldiers that were wounded with infections and everything. So he used that with the diet of whole plant foods with herbs, and they were completely healed. And the medical people that he worked with, because he's working in the medic, And he just take it to the soldiers when they came in wounded. And he says, hey, let me help fix them up with eating good nutrition, whole foods, and with herbs. And so that's kind of how he got his fame. He's like the first herbalist, wasn't a doctor, but the first herbalist to help soldiers back in World War II, during World War II time. So when he got back from the war, they wanted to give him a scholarship to go to medical school. And he goes, no, thanks. I don't want to kill anyone. I just want to heal people with herbs.
Revolutionary.
So there was a master herbalist school in Dominion. There's a Dominica in Canada. That's where he went to school to become a master herbalist.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then after that, when he got back, he was a master herbalist, and he says, yeah, I want to open up a practice. So he went to LA area and got his naturopathic doctor degree. And then after that, he set up practice and started working on patients. And his prescription was, you'd write, okay, it's in your garden if you got a garden, because it's back in the early 50s, and says, yeah, in your garden, eat from your own garden. And here's the herbs, and you write out a prescription what herbs to take. And they usually back then herbal teas and whole foods, and drink good clean water. You always recommend distilled water. So that was the cleanest. That kept his arthritis from coming back, is the distilled water, because it's important to drink clean water. So you don't need to see him. He'd come back. He taught them how to go home and heal themselves through whole foods and herbs. And that's the beauty of his mission that really turned me on that night, how easy it was to heal the body of any kind of condition. Because he taught about there's only really one cause to heart disease, cancer, diabetes, type 2 diabetes going around here in America, and obesity. People are overweight because they eat too much meat, dairy, and processed foods, which is the processed foods is GMO, which is processed sugars, processed oils, and processed salt, the SOS diet. So he says, eliminate that and eat whole foods and take herbs and cleanse the liver. He talked about cleanse. If you cleanse the liver and the colon, those diseases, those conditions will go away.
Yeah, because your body has the ability to help itself when it's healthy, whereas like I feel like disease festers when the body is suppressed and it's not working the way it's supposed to. Then that allows the disease to happen. And so that's why eating that way is so important to cure disease. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right on, Coty. That's wow. You're pretty educated there. I'm impressed. So
I've always been into health. If people that know me know that I've always been pretty holistic. I love talking about it too, but I love hearing about it from a master. And I totally know who you're talking about with Dr. Christopher's. I have some of his formulas also. Yeah, at the beginning of COVID, I actually tried this one called Xinfx, is XINFX. And I tell you what, I feel like, if I had like a sore throat or anything, it would just go away. Are you familiar with that formula?
I haven't heard of that. What's the ingredients? What herbs are in there?
I'd have to go get the bottle.
Okay, so build your immune system.
Yeah. I think it's just good for bacteria or anything.
Oh,
So,
nice. Yeah.
so on this path, you've written a book and you created a health. What do you call your company? It's
NuLife Herbs. Vitamins are usually isolated and they're not from plant base, and that's what you want from plants, because that way they don't extract it, they don't add fillers. Because whole food herbs, a lot of people don't understand this, but whole food herbs has all the nutrition. It has all the minerals. It has high in vitamin C, vitamin D, vitamin E, beta carotene, which converts into vitamin A. Vitamin A is good for your eyes, your hair, your skin. And all the nutrition, all the phytonutrients are in the herbs right there. It's like you don't need vitamins. It's like you use whole food herbs. That's how the body heals, because anciently, that's all they had was herbs, and they healed. They didn't have heart disease and cancers and diabetes. They weren't obese or overweight because they ate organic foods and they took herbs for their medicine. When they got sick, they'd use herbs. And so that goes way back hundreds and thousands of years ago.
That makes a lot of sense too, because like a whole food, an herb is plant-based and it has the enzymes and things that work in cohesion with our bodies. And you have a lot of cool formulas. And I take this amazing protein formula, like I was saying, that is all natural, whole food based. It has so many amazing things inside of it. I want to share with everybody my protein recipe. If you guys are going to get this protein, this is how I do it. I use raw apple juice, probably like a cup of raw apple juice. I use 2 scoops of the protein. I use Costco, like the big, huge bags of organic greens, and I put them in the freezer. So I'll just take a scoop of those greens out, plop them in the blender, and then I take some frozen fresh berries. So I mix that up. And some people might need a little more sugar or something, but it's fine for me. And mix that up, and it makes me feel really good. Makes me feel super healthy.
Nice. Yeah. Because see, all those, when I share my education with people,
Mm-hmm.
and I have a saying, go plant strong. If you eat plants, that's where the nutrition is. If you don't eat a plant, that means it's artificial, processed GMO foods. It's like most of our farms are like GMO. So people got to be careful, because if it's not labeled organic, it's GMO. And
Yeah.
GMO, our body's all organic. That's the thing about our human body, our cells, our blood, our organs and glands, our brain. It's all organic. So it needs organic nutrition to be fed. That's why you'll never get sick with organic whole plant foods and organic whole plant herbs. Those two right there, I tell you, you live a long life, and because we should all live to be over 100 years old and never have any kind of serious health condition.
Amen. That would be great. Absolutely. Now, you wrote a book. What is your book called?
My book is called Discover the 5 Treasures to Better Health.
Mm-hmm.
Let the journey begin, because it was a journey for me that, I dedicated to my mother, because she guided me. Because her type 1 diabetes, she's strictly vegetarian, no meat. She'd do dairy, like raw milk and raw cheese. And that was about it. She didn't do any processed sugars and all that. So she did olive oil for oils and stuff like that. And she did juicing and herbs and to keep healthy. She was very fit. She was only like 5'4", but she weighed about 99 to 100 pounds.
Wow.
She did insulin. She shot insulin every day. So after about 30 years of doing that, she went blind, and then she eventually just had a heart attack, and she was gone. She passed away when I was 25 years old. And I thought, God, how could you take her? It was like she was healthy. She taught us good things. She's a very spiritual woman, religious, and read the scriptures, and I went to these different health seminars with her. Lynn Johnston, the one that's the iridologist and reflexology, and he did foot massages. And I was just intrigued with all that. And so after she passed away, I go, man, I was kind of like down the dumps. I never got depressed, but I was sad, I guess you could say, for like 10 years. And then it's kind of a personal story, but it's an inspirational story that she finally woke me up. If you believe, when you die, there's a next world that's, heaven or the other side, whatever you want to call it. Oh yeah, she started communicating with me. So she told me to go to my father's house and get a book. She'll guide me to get a book to help me, because I had bad allergy. It's kind of like my book is about these 5 treasures that she taught me. So I had bad allergies for like 16 years. And every time there's April, May, when it got warmer here in the Arizona desert, things were blooming and all that. But I discovered how I got these allergies because I was on a sad American diet. I was, eating ice cream for dinner, and almost every night, and eat hamburgers and cheese, just their regular standard American diet. And so when I was at my father's house, I looked at his bookshelf and I found a book by Ann Wigmore. If you heard of Ann Wigmore, the mother of wheatgrass, where she had a clinic in Boston, Massachusetts, where she grew wheatgrass. And she'd have her patients and clients come there from all over the country, eventually all over the world. She got very popular. She was like the first one to introduce wheatgrass actually in the United States. And she hired a scientist to look in through a microscope the nutrients value, because she just used it. She thought, wow, this is healthy. It got rid of, she actually had gangrene when she was a child, and they're from Europe. And the mother, the grandmother read the scriptures in Genesis where it says the grass of the field and it is good for you. So talks about that in Daniel too. So I really got caught up in the wheatgrass thing, started looking up in the scriptures how they used wheatgrass, barley grass, alfalfa. Those three greens has all your nutrition, all your 100 minerals, chlorophyll, the phytonutrients, and all the vitamin A, vitamin B12. It actually has B12 wheatgrass, vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, calcium, all those minerals to build your body up, which builds your immune system. So that was, I started reading about on this book. I thought, God, my mom used to grow the wheatgrass, but I don't know how to grow it. They gave the instructions in this book, but I thought, is there an easy way, like a powdered wheatgrass? So I found a company, ordered some powdered wheatgrass, started mixing it in my own kitchen. I went to the healthy store and got a little capsule machine. You can make it yourself in capsules. I started mixing cayenne pepper because my mom would take cayenne pepper because Dr. Christopher talked about the benefits of cayenne pepper. You know, cayenne pepper, circulation, high in vitamin C, it's got all minerals, one of the most powerful herbs there is. So I started adding a little bit of cayenne to the wheatgrass, started taking it, and after a few days, boy, my eyes stopped itching and I wasn't sneezing every few minutes that I was doing. I had bad allergies. And within about a week, it's like they just stopped and I slept a lot better. So I kept taking it for 2 or 3 weeks. Allergies were gone that I had for 16 years. And I thought, wow, this is a miracle. So that was my first formula, is the wheatgrass formula 7. The first treasure is like our journey to live whole foods. I did some research. So when I did the master's on being a master herbalist, they talked about the benefits of whole food herbs. That's what Dr. Christopher got his patients on, a more plant-based whole food diet along with herbs. So it talks about live whole foods, the benefits of live whole foods versus processed foods. That's what the book is about. It tells you about what live whole foods are, and then it tells you what processed foods are and how the processed foods causes these health conditions. So where live foods, if you eat the live whole foods, you won't get these 4 main conditions I talked about that Americans get, is heart disease, cancer, diabetes, and obesity, and gaining weight. So those are 4 main ones that Americans have that's destroying their health. So in the second chapter, it talks about herbs. What is an herbalist? I talk about what an herbalist is. You know, herbalists, they study herbs, roots, flowers, bark, and seeds, and berries. And that's what an herbalist is. We studied that, and that's what we're supposed to eat. So I just applied that in my life back in '93 when I started going to the school to become an herbalist. So treasure 2 is the herbalist, talks about the science behind herbs. Then treasure 3, which would be chapter 3, talks about the water we should drink, because water is so important. This is so important because people get filtered water, which is better than tap water, but these waters still got a lot of chemicals, even through a filter. You know, absorb still have the hard minerals in there and the chemicals. So what Dr. Christopher talked about is steam distilled water. It's just like rainwater and glacier water. When the water melts, that's the cleanest water. And that's how you can utilize, you know, distilled water in your body. Your cells are 90% water, your brain's 90% or 80%, and your whole body is 70% water. So we need a lot of water. We need a lot of clean water. And man, I felt so much better I even had ring around my eyes, and I went to this healthy store. This older lady on the healthy store, she says, "Man, you got minerals settling in your eyes, hard minerals from filtered water." I go, "Really?" She goes, "Get on distilled water and they go away." I go, "Oh, that's what maybe I should."
Really?
She talks about. So anyhow, I got on distilled water. The rings were gone after a couple of weeks of drinking distilled water. So I've been on distilled water ever since. So yeah, so that's the power of distilled water. That's in my book about different waters. There's scientists that wrote about these different waters, and it's in my book about from tap water, how much chemicals they put in the water, and then also a lot of fluoride in most cities in the tap water, right? The fluoride.
Yeah.
Even these filtered water systems don't eliminate the fluoride, but steam distilled heats it up at a high temperature, and it destroys all the chemicals and fluoride. So you have no fluoride in distilled water. So that's 100%. Four is about exercise. I grew up with a very athletic father. He was very athletic in high school, but my dad was very athletic. So I'd go running with him. I'd exercise with him, played basketball with him, throw the ball around with him. And he was quite an athlete. So in my book, I talk about the power of working the muscles with weightlifting, also rebounding. Rebounding is really amazing. So rebound talks about the science of rebounding, how rebounding can help the lymph nodes. So the lymph nodes are so important. When you rebound, it evens out the lymph nodes and better circulation. When you get a small mini trampoline is a rebounder. So I recommend getting a rebound because that's all I do mainly right now is rebounding for a long time. I met this guy out of Utah. He started rebounding. He could hardly get out of bed, and so he got a rebounder and he got educated on rebounding. So he lost 40 pounds. He was over 40 pounds or so overweight. So he got on that, lost the weight. I tell you, his muscles, his arms are still muscular, and he has a six-pack. I thought, okay, so when I met him, I had a rebounder. I says, you know what, for 1 year, I'm just going to rebound. I quit going to the gym for a year. And I tell you, I still stayed toned. I didn't have a backache, lifting weights at the gym.
Yeah, these are good examples because, we're all kind of stuck home right now. Not all the gyms and things are open, or some people don't want to go. And you do have to stay in shape. And I've found pretty various ways to stay in shape at home too. I want everybody to know you're getting ready to start this thing where you're going to have Zoom meetings. And tell us a little bit about the Zoom meeting, and then I'll have to go. But we'll put all the links down below for your book, for your products. There's a cool 6-pack of products that I just bought from you. Why don't you just tell us the title of each of those products real quick, and then tell us about your Zoom.
Good question. Yeah, because I put 3 programs together on my website. If you go there, Go Plant Strong is where I put the 3 programs. Like the first program is the 4-pack program. I was telling Coty is about the hemp plant protein. That's the first product. And the second one's the wheatgrass. I talked about the wheatgrass formula 7. I got rid of my allergies. Has all the minerals, high vitamin C, vitamin D, and all the chlorophylls in the wheatgrass formula. They're all in veggie caps, the wheatgrass, along with the cayenne. And it's got peppermint leaf. Peppermint leaf is high in vitamin C. It's got chlorophyll. You open the bottle, it smells like peppermint. It's very aromatherapy is peppermint. So I like the peppermint in that. It's got slippery elm for mucus. So that's the combination of the wheatgrass formula. The metabolizer, which is adrenal support, and the sugar blocker. That's the metabolizer.
Okay.
And then the 4th one is my colon liver parasite cleanse. Because the liver is the filter. Everything you eat, drink, and even think about emotional goes right to the liver. So if you eat too much meat, dairy, which dairy causes a lot of mucus, because mucus, Dr. Christopher says, mucus is the cause of all these chronic conditions from animals, from dairy and processed sugars, processed oils, which is in the processed foods, right? So that's how you get mucus from those 2 foods. And too much meat causes a lot of fat on the liver. So this colon liver parasite cleanse breaks down the fats, draws all the poison out of your liver and starts transferring it to the colon. to help you eliminate, help you digest what you ate. So it's a parasite cleanse. They got black walnut, wormwood, and cloves that destroys the parasites. And there's herbs in there like blue clarion. The first herb in there is antiviral. It helps respiratory so you can breathe better, and gets rid of certain strains of viruses. You know, it's not guaranteed a COVID virus because they're just trying to find out that strain of virus, but it helps eliminate viruses. Because if you can get rid of parasites, you can get rid of viruses. They're not supposed to be there. Certain bacteria and viruses actually protect your body and your immune system. And so like good bacteria, bad bacteria, you need good bacteria, but you don't need the bad bacteria, which you get from processed foods. And too much meat and dairy causes bad bacteria in the gut. And it tries to transfer to the liver. And then your last digestive system is your colon. So those are your three, is your gut, your stomach, to your liver, to your colon. So if it gets clogged up along the way because it doesn't have fiber, you know, that's why plant foods, you're better off because it has fiber to help you go from your gut to your liver to your colon, because now you're going to digest it and get it out of your body within 24 hours. Then it'll store up the nutrients that your body needs to build your body up and to build your immune system up and keep it more alkaline. So that's how it works, is that 4-pack program. And the 5-pack program that you got, Coty, is a lot of people are addicted to, you know, say they drink too much wine, soda pop, you know, sugars, processed sugars, that's in processed foods. That's addicting. And so, you know, taking, you know, medications addicting. So this 5-pack program, I had, you know, it's the same as the 4-pack, but I had one more formula called stress to the addiction program, because, you know, when you're addicted or you're stressed out on food or alcohol or medication, you're going to have some coffee. Yeah. The main thing I learned, that was actually my third formula, is the stress eliminator. And boy, it really helped me sleep better. It helps the nerves. So it helps relax the nervous system. You know,
that sounds amazing.
Target that. So when you're relaxed, it nourishes, you know, it's made with passion flower, chamomile, hops flower. Those flower herbs helps the nervous system become more calm and relaxed. Within about an hour that you take 2 or 3 capsules, you're going to feel more relaxed and calm right away. So that's going to help with any kind of addiction. So the 6-pack is just same as the 4 and 5-pack, but you get one more formula called the men's and women's formula, is my 6-pack program for hormone balancing.
That's great. So tell me about this Zoom call. Maybe we can put a description, you know, a specific description about what your Zoom call is going to be about. And we also want to put your email address, because we want people to be able to contact you to get on the email list, to be able to be invited to this Zoom course that you're going to be having. And I'm assuming that you're going to talk about this kind of stuff. Can you tell us a little bit about that real quick?
Yeah, thanks. That's good. Yeah, what I'm going to do on my Zoom call is kind of like with this interview with you, Coty, is about go and plant strong. That's kind of my slogan, is go and plant strong. Get people's attention to the power of plant foods and plant herbs. Those two things is what's going to heal you, because nothing else is going to heal you. You know, these fad diets, they do well for a while, but that's not going to totally heal your body. And taking a chemical, which is, you know, medications over and over, that's not going to build your body up. So I'm going to kind of go over about plant foods, herbs, cleansing. When you cleanse and nourish the body, because that's kind of like Dr. Christopher's word to keep it simple. He said, if you cleanse the liver and the colon, the bloodstream, no disease or health conditions can exist in a clean body. That's it. That's the answer. Is about no condition can live in a clean body when you have a clean liver and a clean colon. Because it's not so clean. Your body's able to breathe in it. The cells start regenerating. Your body and your organs and glands start regenerating. That's how to build the immune system up. And that's it. That's the answer. It's so simple, but I learned that we all have habits. I had bad habits. I loved ice cream and all that and soda pop. So I was addicted to it because of the sugar and all that. It's very addicting. So that's kind of like I'm going to talk about these addicting foods, how to replace the addicting foods with, a natural alternative, plant foods. I used to say, hey, let's do it for 30 days. They thought I meant 3 years. I go, no, it's only 1 month. So now I cut it down. Say what? You could cut out meat and dairy how about for 7 days? People go, yeah, I can do 7 days. So after 7 days, you're going to notice the difference, how better you feel after 7 days. So that's kind of like where I'm going to go. Easy steps, just baby steps. That's what my book's about. Let the journey begin. Like, let's begin with 7 days of eating whole plant foods. Start cleansing your body for 7 days, drinking the moonshine water, water. Try it for 7 days. See how you feel.
Exactly. Well, I want people to know more and more about you. So we're going to put all the information down in the bottom of the video. And I thank you so much for joining us today and giving us all your amazing information. I wish we had more time because this stuff is so interesting. But you know what? If you want to take care of yourself, get in contact with him and just find out what he's got to offer. He's got great products, great book, and this great Zoom course. And I thank you so much, Spencer, for joining us.
Okay, Coty. Okay, thanks for having me on, Coty. It's been enjoyable, and I appreciate the interview and your input too on how you take care of yourself.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And I'm very much looking forward to getting my 6-pack.